media has just been going literally crazy over the last couple of weeks that we have not had a new episode. I feel like I've changed these show notes about 10 different times to just keep up with what is most recent stuff that's going on. So I guess we just need to start, and what's going on right now. Youthforia, the makeup brand, is having their second round of racist controversy because they are idiots. I don't really know. I don't really know how else to explain it. For our patrons, we go really into detail about the situation on our May episode of Shots, which I will hear very, very soon. So keep a lookout for that. But we just wanted to just do a high level overview of the situation and kind of where they are now. Myra, how would you explain this to the people?
Youthforia is selling people blackface in a bottle.
Yeah. Thanks. That was great.
Yeah.
That was a great summary.
That's it. And passing it off as foundation.
Yeah, basically. And this is after, sometime last year when they first initially came out with their foundation shade range, when they had a very, very, very limited shade range for, darker complexion people. And that was a whole thing back then. And they were like, oh, we're so sorry. We're going to do so much better. That was just our initial launch, but we're doing stuff. We're listening. We're learning. We're doing all the things. And then they come out with blackface in the bottle. So
no effort, no try, no care. They have gone radio silence at this point. Who knows by the time y'all listen to this what happens. But yeah, I just appreciate the internet, I guess, the overall community of really like speaking out on it and out loud speaking out on it and giving people other options and all that.
Yeah, this is definitely a time where I really love and appreciate social media, because without social media and so many influencers using their platform, speaking up, speaking out, and bringing attention to this, like this would have just been a blip on the radar. They would have just been going along as normal, and not knowing what a big deal this was. And I've seen people make the argument that, there are so many makeup brands that do cater to people of color very well and have really extensive shade ranges. Why are we worried about brands that don't do that? The reason why is not because we're just so desperate to use Youthforia's products. Nobody cares about them like that. It's just the principle that in 2024, this should not be happening, and we should not still have to beg and demand representation from brands, especially brands that are BIPOC owned. Especially like the bar is in hell and it needs to be raised, and we are tired of having everything has to be the result of some type of outrage in order for people to do the right thing. They should be doing the right thing the first time. It's not an excuse. There's just no excuse at this point for this to still be happening. So people are just rightfully frustrated that these things keep happening. And like I said, in 2024, we are still having to demand and fight for representation. It's exhausting. We're exhausted, and it shouldn't still be happening, but this is not our fault. It's the brand's fault.
Yeah, it's lazy and, in my opinion, intentional at this point to not even try. Like y'all didn't even try it on. Y'all had to go out and find random people in the mall to try and match, and it still wasn't.
Yeah,
the video sends me every time of the little light pat in of the foundation. So because they knew it was just not a match. But yeah, on the bright side, I've been learning a lot. Also, to your point, going back to, I just remembered, two things can be true at once. I hate when people do the argument of, why are we focused on these brands that don't want us? There's other brands out here who are inclusive. And it's like, yeah, we use those brands, but we can still speak out and say like, no, this is fucked up.
This is
like,
unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. That doesn't mean we're like, oh my God, we need Youthforia. Like, I will not have any foundation if Youthforia doesn't make one for my skin tone. Like that's one thing I hate about the internet, is that they think, it just has to be white or black.
All or nothing.
Yeah. And that's really frustrating. Like more than one thing could be true at once. and we can focus on more than one thing.
Exactly. Honestly, to me, what has come out of this that's an even bigger issue besides just this brand's like, willful ignorance is how people are just bending over backwards to defend them when the brand hasn't even defended themselves. It's not like the brand immediately came out with some statement, with some excuse for why they did this, and people are just reiterating that. People are making up their own reason in their own mind for trying to justify this on behalf of this brand that does not know them, does not care about them. They probably don't even fucking use this makeup. Excuse my language. If you're listening with your kids, this just gets me so heated. It just is like, why is it so hard to believe that something is just shitty and racist? Because sometimes things are just shitty and racist, and Black people shouldn't have to always prove it to you. Just take it for what it is. Listen to Black people. If you don't get it, listen to, like, the people have just explained this ad nauseum. They have talked about color theory. They have shown mixing the foundation to show you how BS this is. People who know way more than we do. If you need the research, it's out there. It's on TikTok. Look it up. But if you are able to watch those videos and you still can't just take it for what it is, don't worry about it. Clock out for me. Just clock out for me.
Just clock out. It's so disheartening to see other Black people like Kate Ford. I know you seen that one lady that was like, she's the darkest person in America. It's like, girl, you were so close to the point. You were so close to the point and then made a hard left.
Hard left.
Like, it's so close. But it's kind of sad to see, because like, what do you gain from that other than clicks and views and people stitching your video?
Exactly. And the people who are just in the comments trolling the creators and influencers who are using their platforms and talking about this, y'all gain even less just being an asshole in somebody's comments, questioning what's right there in front of your face.
I get people get off on stuff like that, but
it ain't cute. It ain't cute, and there's no war for that. You just look pathetic, and all you're going to do, they're going to respond. They're going to use your comment to respond to, and then the comment's not going to be available anymore because you're going to delete it because you're going to get embarrassed.
I always wonder if it's them deleting it or if it's the creator.
I think it's them. I think it's them going back and deleting their comment. But thankfully, it still exists on the Stitch video, and we still see your name.
TikTok is so shady for that.
I love that
because you can't hide. You can't run and hide.
No.
It's a few extra steps to find you, but people will take it. Yeah,
people will take the steps. Exactly. So yeah, like I said, like Myra said, as of right now, the brand themselves have not said anything. I know whenever they do decide to respond, it's not gonna be sufficient. Because it's really just no excuse. I really just think that they thought they thought they was going to come out with the darkest foundation shade ever. And it was going to be a big F-U to the haters and to everybody who doubted them. And it was going to be stunned on the Fenties of the world with all their shade range, because we're going to have the best, darkest shade ever. And it was literally blackface in a bottle. Played yourself. Clownery.